I'm joined now by Hope Harrison. She is an Associate Dean for Research and Associate Professor of History and International Affairs at George Washington University. I was reading one account where it said analysts are really kind of at a loss as to why now. Is there a catalyst for this? I know there's been interruptions in the ceasefire over the years, but why now?
I don't know that there's one particular reason, but I do know that for years Azerbaijan has been planning this. They've made it clear. They lost the war back in 1994. They have about 700,000 displaced persons from that war. Both sides lost tens of thousands of people, and Azerbaijan lost a major 20% of its territory. And they've made it clear they want it back. And now it seems that they're trying to do that, and they've got Turkish support.
Well, I was just going to say the Turkish president saying he is backing Azerbaijan to the end. This obviously doesn't sit well with Moscow. They've got a tense relationship because of the jet shot down over Syria back in November. Talk to me about the wider dimensions of this.
Yeah, this is very worrisome because both Armenia and Azerbaijan have major motivations here. Azerbaijan, revenge. Armenia wants to defend the territory. It feels it rightfully belongs to it because of the ethnic Armenians there. And they both are backed by major powers. Armenia, there's a Russian military base in Armenia. They've been staffing it with more troops and more equipment. Turkey is backing Azerbaijan. This is a very worrisome development, and sadly, I do not expect it to de-escalate anytime soon.
Is there anyone who can intervene to play the mediator in this, do you think?
There is a mediation group, the Minsk group of the US, France, and Russia. They are meeting tomorrow in Vienna to try. But I think that given that both Armenia and Azerbaijan are so motivated and angry and are escalating the situation, that unless the mediators have some big carrots they can use with them, I'm worried that they're not going to be able to persuade them to pull back from the course they're on.
What could be the potential carrots, do you think? Is there anything out there?
Well, given that Armenia won the war and took over a lot of land, part of that would involve giving some territory back to Azerbaijan. It would also involve perhaps a change in the status of Nagorno-Karabakh, which is legally part of Azerbaijan. But Armenia and the people in Nagorno-Karabakh want to be independent. There's got to be the right to return of some of the displaced persons. They would want some security for Armenians moving back and forth between Armenia proper and Nagorno-Karabakh if they gave up some of the land they took between Armenia and Nagorno-Karabakh. So there are a whole bunch of issues that they could talk about, but they've been talking about those issues for over 20 years. And not coming to an agreement, and now resorting to military action.
Quickly, if you can, for someone who watches this rather closely, what are you going to be watching for in the days ahead to see if it goes one way or the other?
Well, I'm going to be watching for what happens on the ground because sadly, the more people who are killed and the more property that is destroyed, the angrier both sides become. And this is a very militarized region. I mean, this line of control, this line of contact, the border, which I passed through when I was working for the White House, they've got trenches. They are really set in there. And so they've got everything they need, sadly, to really wage war here.
Yeah, and they say that they're using heavy machinery and rockets this time around, which is an escalation, obviously.
Yes.
Hope, thanks so much for coming in. Really appreciate it.